Greetings and salutations. My name is Colin Moriarty. This is Greg Miller. Welcome
Hi.
to another episode of Colin and Greg Live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, our nerdy talk show every weekday at 11 a.m. Pacific time for all things games, movies, music today. Actually, we're talking about comics, etc., etc.,
etc., etc.
etc., etc. Greg?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Today's an interesting day for us because after this we're gonna eat and then we got to go to IGN and record our very last episode of Podcast Beyond. The end of an era.
So sad.
Some might say it's the end of an era. I don't know.
Error.
Yeah. What was that from? The end of an era. Oh, that was George Bush, I think.
Is that what they said
George
about him?
W. Bush, yeah.
Gotcha.
So, how do you feel about that, Greg? Because we have a lot of people that have followed us over from.
How do we feel about the last Podcast Beyond?
Yeah,
It's sad. It's gonna be sad. Yeah, I mean, I've been there since episode 1. It's 8 years of doing the show, making it happen. Took over hosting after Roper left in the early 100s. And so, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, obviously the support here on Twitch, the support on YouTube, the support on everything's been so crazy that I think it's helped lessen the blow of that. But today is the day where we walk in and do our final piece of IGN content ever. You know what I mean? That's weird. Or you know what I mean? Like, I know you're still freelancing. I'm sure, hopefully, we'll be invited back for other stuff now and again. But in general, it's like, this is the last time we'll ever do Beyond as the hosts of Beyond. You know what I mean? Any other time we come back, it would be, a guest hosting thing, or maybe 400 or whatever. It'll never be our show again.
Yeah,
Today's the day
exactly.
we give up the
well,
show.
that's the thing is that I'll always kind of consider it our show, and and Clemence's and Gold Farms and Ropers. I mean, we built Podcast Beyond, and you especially built it. And I came in, around the time that the original crew was celebrating episode 100, and this will be episode 381. And we've been doing the show together, especially for a long time. I wrote a letter to the audience that I'll read at the end of the before you kind of I'm gonna let you kind of close it out, Greg.
Yeah.
I'm gonna allow
Don't
that.
spoil all our tricks for what we're
I'm gonna allow that to happen.
Thank you. I'm glad you're finally allowing that to happen.
But yeah, I just it's gonna be a sad and emotional day for us, I think, and then we're gonna go get drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
At our favorite bourbon and southern food restaurant.
Our favorite. Yeah, I don't know. It's a I don't know. Like, it isn't setting in because right now we're dealing with this, so getting the show up and running, doing all that stuff. We had to do a quick edit today. There's all this news out of the EU. Like, today, as usual, every day since we started this business has been a fucking fire drill.
Right.
Something always goes wrong. Today's morning was all sorts of fucked up getting to this point, so I'm troubleshooting things on the fly. I don't have time to focus on it. When we're there, like last night when I was putting together the final emails, right? The final listener mails and stuff, they were choking me up. I'm going to make a point to tell everybody, obviously, when we get going on, when I do my sign off, of course, that if you wrote in with an email, like, I read it. You know what I mean? Like, I read every email last night. I read through everything. So even if you don't get on the show for our final show, it definitely hit me. You know what I mean? Like, so many letters weren't even questions, right? So many questions were just like, you guys got me through this. I can't believe how much you've done for us, or how much I've seen you guys grow up, and da-da-da-da-da. All these different things, right? Like, that wasn't lost on us, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think that it's gonna be a sad moment, but also a moment of triumph, because I mean we built Podcast Beyond, and now we're building this new thing. We built Podcast Beyond when it was much smaller and when it was much more modest, and no one cared about it. And so it is weird to have us hand it off to someone, or to have to do that. Obviously, we don't own it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that the show will be fine and it'll evolve. But today will be the last Roper report. Today will be the last Andrew Goldfarb.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Just the not knowing, I guess, what's coming, right? In terms of how it's going to be. Like, we don't know what Marty's going to do with it. We don't know what the show looks like when we're gone. You know what I mean? Like, we're giving up our baby here and turning it over to new people. And I mean, not that I'm saying it needs to stay the same. Obviously, they need to go in and do their own thing with it. But today is, for all intents and purposes, the last time. This is the last Beyond as you know it. You know what I mean? The last Beyond, it's been 8 years. I've been there since episode 1, and now it's 381 we record today. People are saying, don't cry. I'm not going to cry right now. I bet I
kind of feel like you're getting there a little bit.
No, I'm hoarse right now from being sick, because you got me sick last week.
Yeah, we see it's a mild sickness. You're fine.
I took advantage of it. I laid in bed all weekend, played Persona. It's like, well, I don't feel like doing anything. I'm just gonna do this.
Dude,
my life is so hard.
I cleaned the house so thoroughly this weekend. It took so long.
Yeah.
That I was feeling actually quite productive this weekend.
Yeah.
Strangely enough. And then I'm working on a secret project that I hope I can tell everyone about soon.
Do I know your secret project?
Yes.
Okay. Then I know what he's talking about.
But yeah, it just felt like a very productive weekend. The antithesis of your weekend, your lazy bullshit weekend, was my productive 7-day work week
Well, yeah, you don't do anything during this week, so it's easy.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I don't do anything at all. Greg, there's a lot of news, but first I want to tell everyone, all of our Patreon users out there, that the poll is now over. The survey is now over that I distributed to everyone. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you were able to partake in a survey that I put up on the Patreon, or that you actually posted on the Patreons that I wrote and put up on Survey Planet. Lots of really useful feedback. I'm going to really start mining that feedback to see what you guys want, the changes you want, how we're doing, what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Expect changes to come as a result of that. We will also share the results in a limited fashion, I think, because I don't want to get too crazy with that. Some people confided, some things.
Right. Which we asked them to do. We asked them to be very open.
But I think it'll be probably a topic on the Game Over Greggy show. If not, I'll make a post that we'll put on kindoffunny.com at some point to let everybody know. Greg, I want to start, there's a lot of PlayStation news today, but I wanted to first start with some weird news about Radio Shack. Now, Radio Shack just has been here forever, 94 years actually.
They're always your last resort.
Right, exactly.
God, I need an audio splitter. I need this, I need a mail-to-mail. What do I do?
Right, and you go to Radio Shack. And Radio Shack used to be, obviously in the pre-internet days, a prolific electronics retailer, and back in the day, considering the name Radio Shack, which is a ham radio reference and all that kind of stuff, they were just this huge chain of electronic stores.
Sure.
But according to Forbes, and I think this comes from Wall Street Journal initially, Antoine Gar over at Forbes, Radio Shack cuts the cord after 94 years, files for bankruptcy.
Damn.
So another big store succumbs to the internet. And it says, Radio Shack, after years of puzzling, bottom-seeking stock investors on how it managed to stay in business, filed for bankruptcy on Thursday evening. The retailer, best known to consumers in recent years as a trusty seller of easy-to-lose cords, chargers, and tech accessories, also announced a deal to sell between 1,500 and 2,400 stores to a consortium, including Standard General and Sprint, while in restructuring. So, of course, bankruptcy doesn't mean you're done. It means that you're pretty close to being done, though. The bankruptcy filing ends a surprisingly long run for Radio Shack. While some electronics competitors, such as Circuit City and Nobody Beats the Wiz, it's a New York chain,
I'm the Wiz!
Nobody beats me. Died years ago, the Fort Worth, Texas-based company withstood the internet age, the rise of Apple, and consumers' transition to wireless devices, mostly by selling cords, esoteric technological parts, battery packs, and adapters. Founded 94 years ago by Theodore and Milton Deutschman. I was always going to say founded 94 years ago by Theodore and Milton Radio Shack. In a storefront in Boston, Radio Shack rose to glory with the mass adoption of the radio and the rise of electronics. In 1962, the company was acquired by Tandy, blah, 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 blah. So, first of all, this is going to affect lots of people.
So are all the stores closing? What's happening?
So most of the stores are closing and will be sold to Sprint. Sprint stores in some capacity. They'll restructure their debt and maybe survive this, but I doubt it. It's Chapter 11, so they could possibly reset. They owe a ton of money, and I just wanted to throw that out there because they're just...
Is it any surprise?
No.
Good.
It's no surprise. It's just
you go in there, you try to buy an HDMI cable, they want $40. Mono Price will give it for you to $2. Get out of here with your crap Radio Shack.
That's just the way it goes. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. The brick and mortar electronics store is dying. And I'm like the story said, I'm surprised Radio Shack was able to last for so long.
Yeah.
But our very best goes out to all those affected. A lot of people are going to get laid off and lose their jobs as a result of this, and that's always, always, always sad. So
I'm most worried about Shaquille O'Neal, Howie Long, and Terry Hatcher, the voices of Radio Shack, the faces of Radio Shack.
They'll be okay.
Okay.
Something tells me Shaq's doing.
What about Terry Hatcher and Howie Long?
Howie Long's fine. Terry Hatcher is unclear. It's unclear what Terry Hatcher is doing right now. But I want to start with that sad and kind of somber news to start things out, Greg, because it just seemed like I wanted to come off the bat with that.
No, I understand.
Greg, is this? Okay.
Remember these commercials?
Yeah, of course.
Terry Hatcher, she's like, I'm done with Lois and Clark. Now I'm just going to be Radio Shack. Maybe a Bond movie and then fade into obscurity until I'm Lois's mother on Smallville for one episode.
Oh, is that it?
If you're catching up on Smallville. Yeah, there was a tape. Lois's mom was dead. There it is, Radio Shack. Remember that dog? I forgot about the RCA dog.
Look at those TVs, dude. Jesus Christ.
That was also in this video. This is the world's biggest Radio Shack. All the Radio Shacks I've ever been to are just they're like, fucking hall closets. Yeah, what are you gonna do in there?
Like little strip mall stores.
Exactly. Yeah.
Greg, yesterday the Grammys happened. These 57th annual Grammy Awards honoring musicians.
I'll tell you what. This limped on my Twitter feed all fucking day long. I had no idea this many people watched the Grammys, but there they were, just fucking tweeting about them.
Popular music's so terrible for the most part that I can't.
You don't even care.
I don't care.
You can't even act like you care.
But Rolling Stone has a rundown of all of the winners. Record of the year, let's see, went to Sam Smith. I guess that's not super surprising. He's been quite the phenomenon.
Who is he?
He's a British singer with a really beautiful voice, actually. Song of the year also went to Sam Smith's Stay With Me. Album of the year went to Beck. Best New Artist, Sam Smith. Best Pop Duo Group Performance, A Great Big World with Christina Aguilera. Say Something. Isn't that exciting?
Say something, I'm giving up
Best,
on you.
Best Traditional Pop Vocal Album, Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga.
Yeah!
Cheek to cheek. Best Pop Solo Performance, Pharrell Williams, Happy, which was good the first
50,000 times
I heard it. Best Pop Vocal Album, Sam Smith and The Lonely Hour. Best Rock Performance, Jack White. Best Rock Album, Beck. Best Rock Song, Paramore's Ain't It Fun. So lots of winners here. Congratulations to all the winners. Just not really my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Because it's just like,
And this is the
where's
thing,
the best math metal album?
Isn't this one of those things where it's all like the timing, the window for when you can do it is off by a lot too?
What do you mean?
Like when you're eligible? Like Eminem featuring Rihanna the Monster, wasn't that out forever ago? Like there's no Taylor Swift on this list. So clearly the cutoff was before 1989. You know what I mean?
The album 1989.
Yeah, not the year. They're not just getting around to the Grammys for
maybe she just didn't win any of these because it doesn't because it doesn't have the nominees. She might have been nominated.
Chat, let me know. I want to know what the window was for the Grammys. I know they're in there somewhere. Now you mentioned something interesting there, Jack White. Mm-hmm. Did you follow Guac Gate with Jack White?
Guac Gate?
Yeah.
No.
So Jack White was going to do a show at the University of Oklahoma, and the student newspaper there, a freshman filed a Freedom of Information Act and got the writer for his contract of what was in it, and he had all these fucking ridiculous demands in there, right? October 13th through September, doesn't make any sense. Oh, no, it does make sense. September 13th. She was nominated for 3 Grammys, but it wasn't her album. Okay, anyways.
She was nominated, I told you she was.
But not for her album, for other shit she's done.
Maybe the album wasn't good enough to. I'm saying like that. I'm just telling you that she was obviously nominated for something. She's obviously a big deal.
Right, but I'm just saying that. Like 1989 would have cleaned up on this. Clearly, it was something. All the singles she did and dumb stuff.
Maybe.
If you want to stop the show, I will go look for all this information.
I'll just go ahead and say what you're saying.
I don't even give a shit anymore. Fuck this show. Fuck Guac Gate.
Taylor Swift Grammy
nominations
2015. Why isn't Taylor? There's a story on Syracuse.com.
Thank you, Syracuse.com.
Why isn't Taylor Swift's best-selling album 1989 nominated? Taylor Swift's 2014 release 1989 was the best-selling album.
Eligibility period. Got it.
The eligibility period for 2015 was October 1st. Oh, so it came out so she'll be nominated next year.
Yeah, that's what I was driving at, and everybody's like, she was nominated. I'm like, I know she was nominated. I'm just saying, why wasn't she? And like, I understand she's done enough stuff. I'm sorry. Have you ever done this? Have you ever flexed in the camera and looked at your muscles? Look at me, motherfucker. Shit, son. Portillo, look at this.
Screen cap it.
Yeah, that's a good screen cap. Anyways, Guacgate, Oklahoma rider thing. They get the rider request and they print it, and it's full of insane demands or whatever, that there can be no bananas in the building, that he needs homemade guacamole of this recipe, and it needs to be smoothed out on top with a wooden spoon. And there was all these other things. So they print this. And Jack White gets furious, pulls the media passes for the student newspaper, and then just goes on a tirade on stage about it. This article was written by a freshman, like just some kid.
That's awesome. It's wasn't it Van Halen or something that used to put like No,
you're right. That's what I cited too.
But they used to do
brown
ridiculous,
M&Ms.
Yeah, just to see if people were reading.
And like I remember in the behind the music about Van Halen, they were talking about that, and they were saying the fact that it was because they're working with pyrotechnics and things that are like 30 tons above them. They want to make sure that somebody's going through line by line, making sure that stuff's done. So the easiest way is to check on M&Ms. But I don't think Jack White is coming out with fucking pyrotechnics.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. Stuff. He's coming out with that terrible drummer though that he used to be married to.
Are they not married anymore?
I don't think so.
Do they still play together?
I don't know. I hope not.
That was
such an atrocity. She was so bad.
Really?
Yeah, like you don't remember the White Stripes or whatever they were.
Nah. Well, I remember. I'm gonna get free. But I wasn't sitting there listening.
That's the Vines.
Oh, guess what? All these shitty bands sound alike. Well, give me a Jack White song.
Oh.
You know the lyrics to that? I just know it is like now it's like music you hear at sporting events in between like periods.
Meg White was the worst drummer ever in any rock band. That got a.
Al Mage S09. Meg White can barely keep a beat.
So the funny thing about her was that she apparently was super sensitive about the criticism.
Yeah.
But she was terrible. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I play drums. It's hard. It's a hard thing. You have to learn how to play.
Right.
Like, I learned how to play drums, and I became good at them. Like, thank God that Jack White was so talented and a great songwriter that he carried these. That's it. That's all you can do. Like, every song is just. It's like, oh my God, it's so bad, dude. Like, I used to go off. On this shit all the time. Because
Yeah.
How do they get
Colin go off? I never would have thought.
No. All right.
You got this breaking news people are talking about in the chat. You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, please.
This is breaking news from the chat, from Game Informer. BioWare 4v1 PC title Shadow Realms has been canceled. Multiple sources tell us that Electronic Arts' experimental project Shadow Realms has come to a close. The title, part of the 4v1 trend, was in development in BioWare Austin. The game was announced at Gamescom following an extensive live-action teaser campaign. Hands-on play was offered at the show in Cologne, Germany in August 2014.
I've been there.
And we had the chance... Did you play it?
No.
All right, then. Well, that's it. And there's no official comment yet, but that's what's happening right here. Interesting. Do you care?
No.
Evolve's out tomorrow. Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't care about that game either.
It was like yesterday I saw an ad for Evolve, and it was like February 10th. I'm like, wow, well, that's Tuesday. Holy shit, that's Tuesday. Damn, you want to... I mean, like, first off, I mean, like, this sucks. Sorry if people are losing their jobs. Don't know what's happening in BioWare Austin. We'll keep you posted as we find out more stuff. But then Evolve, yeah, it's like, oh man, that's coming up. Right, forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the games that come out tomorrow, at least on PlayStation Network, and the only game of any consequence is Super Stardust Ultra. So
you're just crossing Evolve right off the list. You're like, sorry, Super Stardust.
Dude, Super Stardust Ultra is gonna be that. It's gonna be that jam. You know it's gonna be that jam, Greg, and I'm gonna be streaming that all the goddamn time.
Are you?
Yes.
I bet you stream it once this week.
I could maybe stream it once this week, but
Going to Starbucks. You guys want it?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Coffee. Iced coffee.
Iced coffee?
Yeah.
Tea?
I'm fine.
Yeah,
thank
no
you.
sweetens.
No sweeteners?
Our Keurig broke here at the stately kind of funny mansion.
It's cataclysmic.
So I tried to make French press for the first time, and I made it a bit too strong. I can see through time when I drink it.
I have sunglasses.
See through time?
After a fucking light.
Sometimes I'm talking to JFK, sometimes I'm talking to the Millennium Man. I don't know who the Millennium Man is, by the way.
So no, that's interesting news, but it's that Stardust, dude. It's that Super Stardust Ultra.
Yeah.
That's the essential game that's gonna come out tomorrow.
You gonna set some high scores?
I'm gonna try.
What are you gonna do if it's broken and you come out? You
It's
got so
not
many
gonna be
friends list.
broken.
You can't play.
There's no
it.
precedent for that. I want to see the game apparently has the trophies are still not up, which is distressing. The game apparently has a platinum, which is nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Because Super Stardust HD and Delta did not have platinum trophies.
Because they weren't real games, but this one's a real game.
It's pretty much the same game. Greg, let's stay in PlayStation land real quick.
Oh, good. People were asking for the PlayStation news.
First things first, PlayStation Store's top sellers for January. I always like looking at these
This is one of the best things. This is one of our best days when this happens.
PS4 games.
Yeah.
Top selling games for the month of January. Resident Evil HD remastered, remake, remastered. Is the number one best-selling game of January for PS4, and Dying Light is number 2.
Damn, Dying Light.
GTA 5 is number 3, Battlefield 4 number 4, Minecraft number 5. Any other interesting things on here? Grim Fandango 7, Costume Quest is 10 because it was on sale, Resogun's 11 because it's awesome. Blah, blah, blah. Destiny falls down to 20. PS3, Resident Evil is also the best-selling game on PS3.
Nice.
Minecraft, GTA 5, Castle Crashers, and Battlefield 4 are the top.
Castle Crashers, still kicking.
Anything
Was there a
else?
sale? Was that one of the ones that was on sale?
It must be, right? And then Vita games. Best-selling Vita game, Minecraft, then Persona 4 Golden, then A Little Big Planet.
Yeah, Persona.
Ratchet and Clank Collection, and Guacamelee.
Literally, as soon as they leave, somebody comes to the door.
And then PS
Hold on,
Classics,
everybody.
Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 8.
I gotta get the packages, Portella.
Portilla. It's all right. It's all right. Put him to bed.
Alright.
Put him to bed. Oh my god. It's all falling apart.
No, it's going great today.
It's all falling apart. I'm just gonna. I want to see if I can click over here. I'm afraid to click on anything though. If I click here, and then I go, and I just stare at you like this. Okay, that was fun. That was good enough. Let's move on to the next piece of news. After PlayStation best-selling games, Greg is coming back. Greg, what do we have?
Holy shit, Colin!
What?
Oh man, it's rare that I order something I'm super It's rare that I order something I'm super excited about.
What is it?
If it's what I think it is, it's gonna be exciting. It's from Japan, which we like.
I love Japan.
All right, sorry, you go ahead. Talk about whatever you're talking about. Yeah.
I want to see what it is.
It's gonna take me a while to open it. It's from PlayAsia.
Oh, is it Percy Propa?
I believe it is.
It took you that long to get it?
Hey, I think it was like pre-order or whatever.
What the hell?
What?
You just used the remote control to open a package. That's never been done before.
I'm a hardcore unboxer, brother. Oh, now there's plenty of stuff for Portillo eating the ground.
Portillo, eat it.
He will. He's stupid.
Why did you do that? You didn't have to do that. That was unnecessary.
I gotta put the dog away now for shit. Look at him! It's Percy! Hell fucking yes. Freedom Wars, everybody. Damn, Colin. I'm stoked. I forgot all about him coming. Look how good he looks.
He does look great. Thank you.
No, he's mine!
Appreciate that.
No, he's not for you at all! You didn't like Freedom Wars as much as I did.
You wouldn't have known shit about Freedom Wars if it wasn't for me. I'm taking Percy Propa.
Let's put him out for a little while, huh?
Yeah.
Love him. So
Wow,
excited.
I felt like you would have had that like 4 months ago.
when
we were still playing
Oh,
the
you
game.
clicked off on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Tons of tech issues today.
Wait, what is supposed to be here?
That would be if we're playing a game.
Oh.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Come on, Porty. Back up. Oof.
All right,
back to the news here. What's happening?
My friend Jim Sterling
I know him. I like him.
tweeted an interesting story today from Rock Paper Shotgun,
Yeah.
written by John Walker over there, who I think is the lead editor at Rock Paper Shotgun. And Jim Sterling, who's known in some circles as Jim fucking Sterling son,
Damn.
which I love so much.
I
You
like
know
that
the
a lot.
story
No, I
behind that?
didn't know. Please tell me the story.
Jim's the funniest dude, man. So there was an indie dev that he used to like rail on, and they released some shitty Steam game, and he wrote about it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think they called him Jim fucking Sterling's son or something like that.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
he started calling himself that. And if you go to his Twitter account,
All
real
right.
quick.
Well, this is real. Our friends at Twitch tweeted out us flexing and being
Oh,
idiots.
great.
Some of it. What? He's just Jim Sterling, right?
Yeah, just what, you don't follow Jim Sterling?
I don't know. I don't think so.
And then I'm fucking Jim Sterling's son. Jim fucking Sterling. It's so good. Anyway, funny dude. But he tweeted this out, Greg, and this is one of the reasons why I think I'm a little dubious of Kickstarter and why I joined Patreon
Yeah.
more, because you get immediate results, right, on
Yeah.
Patreon. And if you want out, you want out. So the story by John Walker over at Rock Paper Shotgun talks about Goddess. Do you remember this game? Goddess?
Yeah, wasn't this
Peter Molyneux's
yes,
game?
thank you. Yes.
So it's John Walker over at Rock Paper Shotgun writes, hey, remember Goddess? It was successfully kickstarted in 2012 despite launching with no video at all, as the name of Peter Molyneux still carried enough currency to raise over £500,000 for his return to the God game genre. Just over 2 years have gone by and mobile free-to-play versions of the game launched last year, but what state is the PC development in now? Molyneux has announced that he's no longer he's now working on a new project, a mobile thing called The Trial, suggesting Goddess is no longer his focus. And the team currently working on the game have recently acknowledged that they, quote, simply can't see us delivering all the features promised on the Kickstarter page, end quote. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So what is the state of development? It sounds as if the developers themselves do not quite know. Designer Konrad Nazinski has recently been added to the team and is being impressively frank about his experiences on the Goddess message boards. As well as stating that he doesn't believe the Kickstarter promises are achievable, he added, quote, a lot of the multiplayer stuff is looking seriously shaky right now, especially the persistent stuff like Hub World, end quote. And more recently, he has posted to explain how frustrated he is with the speed at which he's able to bring change. So I just wanted to bring this up because I could have sworn that this game came out too already. But I guess they're talking about the mobile version of the game.
Yeah, the mobile version.
And just another Kickstarter example of people collecting money way ahead of time
And
then setting too high of a goal. £500,000 is a lot of money. It's like almost $1 million.
Yeah.
And then aren't able to deliver on the game. So I just thought that was an interesting story from Rock Paper Shotgun from Jim fucking Sterling.
Jim fucking Sterlingson. Yeah, that sucks. That's why we like being on Patreon, right? You hold us accountable for what we do.
Right.
If we start sucking, you take your money away. We don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. We don't. Have to, we never have to worry about it. We just take your money, retire.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm doing right now, obviously.
Yeah.
No, I think that like when we talked about going on Patreon. I mean, we've talked about this before. You know, when we were kind of talking about how Kind of Funny came to be and in our rush on Patreon or whatever, starting in September. That you guys originally brought up, like, what if we kickstarted stuff? And I was vehemently against it because I don't want to collect a sum of money and then not deliver what people want. I'd rather have a subscription model, which is what Patreon is for us. And so I think it's quite nice.
Quite nice.
Compared to Kickstarter, where things like this happen, you collect money in 2012, and then in 2015 you find out you don't get what you want. So I think that kind of sucks. Gamerture15 just subscribed. Thank you for that very much.
Gamerture.
No, Greg, we talked about the top selling games on PlayStation.
Everyone's
network.
biting your face off because it's 1.5 times, not 2 times.
Whatever.
For pounds. Use real money, like American money.
Resident Evil HD breaks sales record scoring to Eddie at GameSpot.
Eddie!
This kind of ties into what we were talking about with the PlayStation Network, where it was the top selling PlayStation Network game digitally on both PS4 and PS3 for the month.
Yeah.
And the story by Eddie at GameSpot reads, Resident Evil HD Remaster, which launched January 20 across console and PC, has broken sales records for Capcom. The game is now the fastest selling digital title in the company's history across North America and Europe, the publisher announced Monday. Damn. Hard to believe it could beat Mega Man 9 or 10. The game also broke PlayStation Network records, where it was the, quote, biggest selling day one digital title, end quote, Capcom added, which is unbelievable. The publisher did not share a total unit sales figure for the game, however, nor did it provide a breakdown of sales by platform. Separately, Sony announced that Resident Evil HD Remaster, as we talked about before, was the top selling PS3 and PS4 game of January. So that's just interesting. Congratulations to Capcom, which is making money and kind of toned down its as we talked about last week, toned down its operation to raise profits. And I would not be surprised if we saw more remakes out of them. Remakes, and I mean RE capitalized.
So not like from the ground up remakes, just like their old games put out.
Maybe like Resident Evil 0 would be next, or something like that. You know,
that seems like it's easy, right? Because that was the same one on the GameCube.
Yep, and that was a great game. That game was, again, a lot of haters for Resident Evil 0 back in the day. Now everyone pretended like they like it. It's called the Wind Waker effect. That's what I've named it. Alternate history.
Okay. Don't take my Percy. You don't know nothing about how many hours I sunk in that Freedom Wars.
I have an idea. But I remember introducing. I remember introducing you to Freedom Wars, Greg.
I remember you coming back and saying it was good, and then I went and played. I was like, "You're right, it's good." I don't know if that's really introducing me. I think we all owe it. We all owe our friend Nick over at PlayStation. We owe him everything.
Yeah, we do. We owe him everything.
Everything, beyond this house, this show, this dog, this Percy. It's all because of our friend Nick.
More PlayStation news. Just a lot of PlayStation news.
Yeah, that's what you get here.
Eddie at GameSpot also talked about how linked to a video, PlayStation Plus multiplayer open weekend. So basically, it may only be Monday, but Sony is already gearing up for the weekend. The company has announced that it will unlock PlayStation 4 multiplayer this coming weekend, meaning anyone can play online as much as they want to. No PlayStation Plus membership required. The weekend promotion runs from Friday, February 13th through Monday, February 16th. That's a U.S. federal holiday, Washington's birthday. February 14th, meanwhile, is Valentine's Day. The PS4 is Sony's first console to mandate a subscription for online play, as a lot of people out there know. This is the question, Greg, and I'm wondering if we should use a poll.
Oh, our first poll of the day? Hold on, I'm cranking it over.
Because I'm really curious about this on PS4 specifically. Who the hell doesn't have PlayStation Plus?
Okay.
Who out there isn't using PlayStation Plus, and what is wrong with them if they're not using PlayStation Plus? I'm doing
it right now. I'm on it. Here we go.
So I want to go into that poll, because this is cool, and obviously they have statistics saying that a lot of people don't use PlayStation Plus, but it's so weird to me because it's really not that expensive, you know, and it gives you all of these benefits. So I'm curious to see what the chat.
Poll is open. Let us know. Vote. You see it there. Exclamation vote. Exclamation don't vote. We'll wait for those results to come in.
Let's just sit in silence while that happens.
Okay. While I frantically refresh. See, the thing about it is, I wish it was easier to do the votes. We use MooBot for our polls in here. One of the Twitch bots you can use. It's still, you got to write out the entire thing. You know what I mean? There's a lot happening in the chat. So far, only 5.7% don't have PlayStation Plus. If you just heard a guy going, it's our downstairs neighbor. Our window's open. I wonder if he can hear us talking, though.
I don't know.
Either way,
I hope he enjoys the show.
He gets it unfettered, undelayed or anything. Just straight into his room.
Greg, more sad news.
Oh, no.
For the gaming industry. This one comes from Gamasutra.
Okay.
Alex Wawro. W-A-W-R-O. How do you think that says? Wawro? That's
Wawro.
Wawro. Alex Wawro. I don't like.
I'm great at pronouncing
mispronouncing people's names. You are.
Yeah.
You're one of the best.
Yeah.
His story reads: Report layoff strike EA Montreal. Electronic Arts has confirmed that a number of people were laid off from its EA Montreal division in this week, and a source close to those affected suggests this may herald the closure of EA Mobile branch based in Montreal. The news was first brought to our attention by the aforementioned source, who said a number of mobile developers had recently been laid off from EA Mobile in Montreal. When reached for a comment, an EA representative confirmed the layoffs had occurred, but declined to state how many developers were affected or what this means for the future of EA's efforts in Montreal. Other than that, quote, these changes do not impact our current development plans, end quote. Our very best goes out to those at EA Montreal that may have been affected by this sad news. Always sad when people lose their jobs. Now, this is the interesting thing is I'm looking at EA Montreal as a studio-specific run of games. And they haven't really worked on anything that we know about recently. Their last game, they did Army of Two. And then Army of Two, the 40th Day, and Army of Two, the Devil's Cartel. As well as some stuff with Sims 3, Spore, etc. And so I remember SSX Blur and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't seem like maybe they were working on a game in pre-production and then never got it off the ground. Army of Two has declined significantly in popularity. I really liked the original Army of Two a lot. I thought that was a great game.
What was it, Rios and somebody else? Wasn't then?
Yeah, I don't remember the. Let's see. I'm
Chat. Who was in Army of Two? Let me know.
I'm looking now. Rios and Salem. That was.
There you go. Nailed it.
I really liked that first game, but I never played the other ones. But it doesn't seem like the studio might have been working on anything that was currently announced or whatever. So our very best goes out to them, and we hope that they find new employment soon. There is a burgeoning development scene in Quebec and in Montreal, so hopefully they'll find jobs soon.
Looks like we're pretty set here that Colin, 90%, a little over, have PlayStation Plus, 9% do not. So there you go.
I'll take it.
This is just an easy way to get people on the network today, or this weekend, I guess, have them talking about it, and then remember the order comes out.
The order doesn't have online play, though, does it?
Sure, but I'm sure you'll see a lot of ads. You'll see a lot of ads. I think they've confirmed no multiplayer, right?
That's great.
Yeah, good for them. Good job, Ready at Dawn.
I can't wait to play
Just do that.
I'm really excited to play it. Greg?
Yeah.
Box office numbers from Variety.
Okay.
SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of the Water.
That's new? It's out?
Out this weekend.
Okay.
$35 million.
Damn. People love that SpongeBob.
Jupiter Ascending, which looked cool, but apparently it's not very good.
It's got Channing Tatum in it.
$20 million with
got Meg in it.
3,181 theaters, according to Dave McNary at Variety. So yeah, I was just not much else to say there because it's a little slow time in movies, but I do want to acknowledge the box office numbers as they come out. I was surprised by Jupiter Ascending's low numbers because I thought that movie looked really neat. But then when the reviews started coming out,
there was rumors that they were gonna have the Batman vs Superman trailer or a teaser attached to that. They didn't though, so that was sad.
You know that they didn't, yeah. Oh, I guess that we would.
We would all know by now. And then yeah, the big thing of course is now everything's getting out of the way of that 50 Shades of Grey.
Yep.
Coming out this weekend.
Are you going to see it?
Yeah, Tim, Nick, and I are supposed to go on Thursday night to go see 50 Shades of Grey.
You got your tickets and whatnot?
I have not. I haven't.
You gotta move.
Have. I know.
Are you gonna be 50 Shades of disappointed?
Oh. That was a good one. You been thinking about that this weekend?
No. I've
been cleaning the house thinking like, wait, that'd be great.
Greg
Greg will give me a lead in eventually.
I can barely remember what I did 2 hours ago, Greg. You think I'm like making a mental note of that joke? You know, by the way, Greg.
Yeah.
Speaking of jokes.
The ha-has and tweets?
I was reflecting that, I came up with a really solid joke this weekend.
Okay.
About
you want me to pull it up
Independence Day. And I was really disappointed, Greg. And there's over 6,000 people joining us right now, so I feel like I really want to tell everyone.
This is when you should really air your dirty laundry that you're upset at your audience. Am I past it already? I can just control
it is. It's up. It's up. Yeah, there it is. Greg, I made what I feel was a really solid joke.
Yeah.
About Independence Day and
sure.
about President Thomas Whitmore and who takes to his F-18 or whatever and fights the aliens at the end of Independence
Day. Today is our Independence Day. That guy.
And I was disappointed that I felt like I'm like, this is a great joke.
Yeah.
This is a great joke.
This was it.
I'm not a funny man, Greg. I'm not intentionally funny very often. I'm unintentionally funny apparently. But this was a good joke, and it got retweeted 21 times.
That's it.
Now, why do you think that is? Is it the structure of the joke? Is it too obscure?
It is. That's the problem. Is that if if I'm following Colin Moriarty, I know he's going to tweet about the politics quite a bit, and he's going to teach me some history stuff. So you just bury the lead with the ID4 pin. Did you know that President Thomas J. Whitmore was the first? Like that, you've lost everyone already because they're like, I don't know that president. He must suck. And then then down here you have it. It's a good joke in the sense of if you get it, you get it. You know what I mean? Like it's an Easter egg there.
Right.
But this isn't like a home run, get a million.
Oh, see, because when I wrote this, I was real proud of myself, Greg. Like this is a well constructed, original joke.
Okay.
And
okay. So remember, you have 2176.
Okay.
Let's see. I made a joke last night about the governor and Luke Wheeler. So governor from Walking Dead.
Okay.
Luke Wheeler from Nashville.
Okay.
I tweet a lot if you didn't know. Oh, there. Hold on. Control F again. Control F. Oh, there it is. All right. Okay, you beat me. See, I knew putting Nashville in a tweet, poison for my audience.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
No.
I love Nashville, and I'm going to keep talking about it. But see, I at least had, I gave you, there's these breadcrumbs here, right? There's breadcrumbs right here, the Walking Dead, the Nashville you can latch onto. ID4 was too low, I think. That's all.
Yeah, someone tweet in the
chat over here?
In the chat said that joke would have got 100,000 retweets in 1997. And I was like, that's a really good point.
Good point.
But I was just, what my favorite response to this joke from a few people was, people are, I didn't know that. Like thinking Thomas Whitmore was a real president.
They don't understand, Colin.
Maybe I just fucked up, Greg. I don't know. Maybe I just fucked up.
But that's the thing. I feel like if you were to ask me, outside of what just happened, hey, what was the president's name in Independence Day? I would be like, Bill Pullman. I don't know what his name was. You know what I mean? They call him Mr. President. They all call him, how would I know? Now, I love American President. I don't know what Michael Douglas's presidential name was.
Glock Guy 1926 says there were no tweets in 1997. Thank you, Glock Guy, for that observation.
Thank you, Glock Guy. Good job. Keeping us honest.
Netflix is developing a live-action Legend of Zelda series, according to Wall Street Journal. Now, this is old news for a lot of people watching this because it's Monday and this broke on Friday. But unfortunately, this happened. This happened.
We were off the air.
Yeah, we were well after. But we did put a video on youtube.com/kindafunny if you want to watch a reaction video there. But here's the news from Ben Fritz at Wall Street Journal, Greg.
Yeah.
In case people out there aren't aware, but I'm sure most of you are. The Legend of Zelda, one of the most popular video game series of all time, is in the works as a television show at Netflix. The video streaming service is in the early stages of developing a live-action series based on Zelda about an ordinary boy named Link who must rescue a princess named Zelda and save a fantasy world called Hyrule. I was hoping it would take place in Termina. Said a person familiar with the matter. As it seeks writers to work on the show, Netflix is describing it as Game of Thrones for a family audience. The Zelda games have traditionally included swords and sorcery like Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, but typically with a more lighthearted, kid-friendly tone, except for Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix is said to be working closely with Nintendo, the Japanese game developer that has made about 20 of the Legend of Zelda games since the original, which was released in the US in 1987. Greg, how do you feel about this?
I'm stoked. Do it. I'm surprised to see so much hate over here in the comments already. I'm looking in our Twitch comments. Somebody who I can't get back to now says, this is so dumb. Nintendo is so dumb. Oh, here it is. Terrible idea. Nintendo is so dumb, says Nate4815. Sax Parasite says Zelda is overrated, which is bullshit. Shwetty28 says Zelda series could be the best or worst thing ever. That's where I fall, I think, honestly. The Shwetty28 series. We, for a long time, have been saying, IGN got famous with this April Fool's Day video of the fake Zelda trailer for a movie, right? That got people excited. I think if done right, it could be super exciting. What they're talking about, these Games of Thrones influences, da-da-da. Yeah, it could be cool to have Link run around and do all these different missions. I mean, it seems weird to think about it in an episodic structure, but if it's Netflix, right? That's what you said, right? It's not
Netflix.
Amazon. Sorry,
Yep.
I got the NyQuil brain. The fact that it could be there, that it would be like, all right, we're giving you 8 episodes, whatever, at once. You know what I mean? So it's like one giant movie about it. That sounds like cool.
Someone brought up a good point in the comments, and I missed it, who it was. But someone made a great point that Link doesn't talk.
Right. It's time for that to change.
But that's kind of the point.
But it's different when you're playing a game versus when you're watching a game. Or, I'm sorry, when you're watching a movie. You know what I mean? Like when I'm playing the game as Link, I'm interacting as Link. You know what I mean? So to have him all of a sudden start talking, you've seen a million games not do this. Uncharted, most notably, right? Where you're playing this game, you feel like Nathan Drake, but you also feel like you're watching it, not that you're getting lost in the experience. For this narrative structure for a movie, for a series to go on and do its thing, it has to be there. He has to talk.
Now, I took issue with one thing in this story because I'm a huge Zelda fan.
Okay.
I love Zelda. I played every Zelda game up to Skyward Sword, which I didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Why?
played,
just because you hate the Wii?
and I hated Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks because they had to use the stylus.
Sure.
But I played and beat pretty much all the other core Zelda games, and even wrote FAQs for 3 of them.
Yeah.
That's how I got my job at IGN. But they call it one of the most popular gaming series of all time, and I take issue with that.
Really?
Because it's definitely a well-known franchise, and definitely an established and respected franchise.
Yeah.
But the sales numbers don't at all indicate that it's one of the most popular games of all time. And so I'm interested to see, for instance, I'm looking at the sales figures now. This is on Wiki, vgsales.wiki.com. And the cool thing is that Nintendo is very open and honest about their sales figures and actually go back and update their historic figures, which I think is really cool. But you look at something like Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess was the best-selling Zelda game, and it sold 8.5 million copies. And that really surprised me considering obviously the meteoric success of something like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. But Skyward Sword, for instance, didn't even cross 4 million units sold. So the reason I bring this up is simple. What kind of resonance will this have for people outside of the hardcore gaming sphere? Is this a nostalgia play for people with kids? Is it something for the dwindling base of core Nintendo fans? Is it something for people like us that grew up and enjoy Zelda? Because I feel like doing a Zelda series is cool, but seems a little outdated considering kind of the downward slope of Zelda sales that's happened since Twilight
sales in the way people think about it being one of the biggest games or whatever, I think there's a difference between sales and mind share. You know what I mean? I think there's a ton of people who had a great time with Zelda on NES and never played it again. And I think that's what you find is you parcel it out, right? There's people like us who've gone through and played all of the Zeldas, but then there's people, and I haven't even, now that I say that, what am I saying? You know, that I picked up at Ocarina of Time, right? And then I've dwindled off in the fact that I feel like they're repeating themselves so much. But when you do this, when you say Zelda, the word Zelda, it has a mind share to it. It has a connection for people. Just about every gamer or somebody who's ever played a Nintendo console for sure has a Zelda memory of some kind. So to do that, yeah, you're pulling in the 40-year-old who played it on the NES and never played it again but wants to watch something with their kid or just wants to watch something and do this. I think it could be successful. Because when you look at like the number of Triforce tattoos that are out there or, you know, Robin Williams naming his daughter Zelda, like it's a franchise that hits home for people.
Yeah, well, it hits home for me. Skyward Sword, I just was done with my Wii at that point. My Wii was put away at that point. I'm not buying Skyward Sword. And then apparently the game wasn't really that good.
Yeah.
And Twilight Princess was so disappointing to me. I really didn't like Twilight Princess. Like, really, really, really didn't like it at all. And that was so disappointing to me because I was really a huge fan, obviously, of Wind Waker and Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, and basically everything going back to the original Zelda. I'm even a huge fan of Zelda, too. But at Wikia, on Wikia, vgsales.wikia.com, they have a list of the best-selling franchises of all time. And Zelda is number 18, which is high, but there's over 20 Zelda games.
Yeah.
For context, Assassin's Creed has sold 7 more million. This hurts my heart because Assassin's Creed is like really not very good either, in my opinion. But it's sold 7 million more units than Zelda has worldwide.
Yeah.
Madden has sold 100 million units. So like, yeah, the recognizable thing is interesting, but it's waning. For instance, Nintendo Mario 466 million, and Pokemon is 260 million.
Where's Metroid on this list?
Metroid, let's see. Metroid, 14 million, 95th.
Yep.
Metroid is never. I mean, there's. Metroid has never been big. You know, Metroid and Super Metroid are really great games, and Metroid 2 on Game Boy is a great game. The Metroid Prime games are great too, but they never resonated. That's why everyone was always, and even I was really annoyed when after Other M, when Team Ninja did that or whatever, and then Retro didn't go back and do Metroid Prime. It did Donkey Kong. Well, it's like the sales kind of speak for themselves. Like Metroid's very big with a small group of people,
right?
But never really reached, I guess, a zenith.
Sure.
In the Nintendo ecosystem. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. I hope the series does well. I'm really excited to see what they do with it and how they make Link speak. Yeah. And I hope Tingle's in it. And I hope that little Link from Minish Cap is in it.
Just Little Link.
Little Link.
Okay.
We should do a games cast about Zelda.
Okay, that sounds really good. Tell Tim.
Because I really, really love those. You know what were great Zelda games too that I don't think get a lot of.
Majora's Mask, Link to the Past.
No, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. Remember those games? The Game Boy Color games like Capcom made.
No, I didn't know that.
They were great.
Okay.
Great games. But Zelda, I think, is waning. Link Between Worlds was cool, but as someone who loves Link to the Past, was immersed in that as a kid, and knows that game backwards and forwards, like, all right, it's just I'm back in this world again. That's cool, I guess. But
yeah, for me, somebody who didn't have that attachment to it, I liked it a
lot. This distresses me the most. Zelda 2 Adventures of Link, 1.6 million units sold in Japan, and 4.38 million sold worldwide. That game deserves many more sales than that.
Many more sales, deservedly so.
All right, let's move on, Greg.
Let's move on.
Battlefield Hardline Beta. Did you play it at all?
No.
I wonder if our gamers out there, our friends...
People in chat, let us know. Did you play Battlefield Hardline, the beta, this past weekend when it was open to the
world?
World? 5 million or something, right?
A lot of people did play 6 million.
6 million?
According to Mike Futter over at Game Informer, 6 million have heisted and hotwired in Battlefield Hardline Beta. His story reads in short, sourced from EA, the second beta test for Battlefield Hardline comes to an end tonight. But EA and Visceral have already been touting participation numbers. The duo have announced that over 6 million players have tried the game during this open testing period. It's pretty extraordinary.
I love the stats we get back so quickly. No, nope, yes, no. Played on PC, it was okay. Played like 2 games on it, okay. Lol, no, says Devin CM. Yes, it rocks, million people.
The beta began on February 3rd and offers 3 maps and modes for players to try, along with a full progression system. Visceral Steve Papustis says the Visceral team working on the game is already moving to implement changes. The game comes out March 17th for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, and PC. So it's not too far off, and hopefully the guys over Visceral, and they seem to have enough time to implement changes, especially considering Battlefield 4, which they did not make, was a disaster. But I was blown away by those numbers because apparently that's more people than played. I read this earlier, and I don't have the stats. I'm looking to see if it's in this particular story. Apparently that's more than the Destiny data.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I guess it isn't that crazy. You figure Destiny's aliens and all this other stuff. This is cops and robbers with Battlefield in front of it. People know Battlefield, right? You put it out, you make a big deal about it. Because wasn't... chat will correct me, I'm sure, on this one. Wasn't it the fact that, like, Destiny, for a long time, you had to be invited, and then when they finally opened it, it was just super late, I thought.
Yeah, I think the thing about Destiny, and we talked about this, I think, on Podcast Beyond, I thought Destiny was a stroke of genius because people had stopped talking about that game and caring about that game.
Yeah.
And they were putting $500 million into making it and marketing it.
Yeah.
The beta was a great way for people to be like, remember that this game is coming out, and that we've been working on it and you're kind of tired of hearing it. I was certainly tired of hearing about it. I don't care about that game at all, but, people, that reinvigorated people's passions. I remember when that beta went up. I think it was too late for some people to get involved in the Destiny beta because it was all about word of mouth from that point on. Then people got really excited about the game. That's when you got excited about it. So
yeah, I totally not written it off, but totally been like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I'd seen. For me, there was that E3 Sony press conference where they came out and played it, and I was like, this looks boring. This doesn't look good. And then when they threw the Switch and like the betas are live, and I went home and downloaded it and played it, I was like, wow, I fell in love with it. Zyger chimes in, Greg, you're right at first. Only pre-orders got beta codes, then they open it to everyone. So there you go.
Makes sense. And if it's not on PC, which apparently the Destiny beta was not on PC, obviously, because I don't think it is on PC at all, that also would spike the numbers for Battlefield, which has a huge PC contingent. Just a few more pieces of news, Greg.
Okay. No hurry.
I sent you a couple links to your email address.
Oh, some links.
Kotaku always does a really nice job, I think. If you guys go to Kotaku, a really nice job of kind of gamer culture kind of stories and like just finding these odd stories. And there were a couple I saw this morning that I wanted to share. The first one, because we talked about Super Mario World a couple weeks ago with a guy breaking the game for the first time in a specific way. Remember?
Yeah.
And then Patricia Hernandez over there at Kotaku wrote this particular story where, and we don't have to watch the whole video, but I encourage people to kind of take a look at this when they have the time. Beats the game in 2 hours or so with the lowest possible score, which I thought was really interesting. The run was inspired by a different low score playthrough where a player named SomeGuy712X managed to beat the game with a score of 150. Switch Place Corner is the person that plays this particular game with an even lower score. Apparently, and so I like that people set these arbitrary rules. This reminds me of old school gaming when you go through Mega Man with just the arm cannon when you beat Castlevania without getting hit or something like that. You got to make your own arbitrary rules, especially in a game like this.
Your parents won't buy you a new game, so you have to get something new out of the game you already have.
Yeah, and it's awesome. Yeah, it's like totally cool that Super Mario World came out 24 years ago, and people are still finding a way to break the game basically. And I thought that was really interesting, and I wanted to share that with the readers out there.
Fucking awesome game this was.
And this is a great game. For people that have never played Super Mario World, this is arguably the best Mario game.
Yes.
And still a 10 today. Like, gameplay, a masterclass in gameplay.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why I think Majora's Mask is better than Ocarina of Time, why I think Mega Man 3 is better than Mega Man 2, all these kinds of things is Mario 3 was the proving ground and Mario World was the result. Just like Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine or any of these kinds of things that I just feel like Mario 3 is a great game. Also a 10, I think, actually. But this game's better. The other thing that I sent you, just a quick picture. This is by Gergo Voss over at Kotaku. Guy turns his PS1 into Final Fantasy VII's Midgar. So I just thought this was a cool piece of art. Midgar, of course, is the capital city in Final Fantasy VII. You spend a lot of time there, especially early in the game before you leave, finally.
Everything's a YouTube video these days. I love it.
Yep. And this guy made an awesome version of Midgar with the Mako reactor in the center of it.
That's really cool.
So I just thought that was pretty cool.
I have not written a book. Go away. Gary Wood is on tomorrow. Give the ads to him then.
So I wanted to share that with you.
That's cool.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's really cool.
PS1 still works, which is great.
Not like our Keurig.
Look at the lights underneath it and stuff to make the Mako reactor look realistic.
What's happening here? He put stuff in there and it still runs the game.
Apparently.
Wow. Look at all the garbage over here, man. Clean up your desk. See all that junk? That doesn't look good. Why is that? I shouldn't be touching anything. I guess you're clear.
It's funny that he even put the textures inside the tray.
Yeah.
So it make me a little nervous that it would scratch the disc.
Yeah. Dude's got to do what dude's got to do, though.
Remember PS1? Remember how awesome that machine was?
Yeah. Playing CDs. Hey, you want to listen to some music? They pop up in little cubes. Cubes, Portillo, yeah.
It's really, really cool. Greg, one final piece of news.
One final piece of news, everybody.
Just for our PlayStation fans out there.
That's a lot of
them. Jordan Sirianni at IGN writes, PSN maintenance announced for Thursday. We'll be down for 3.5 hours. So you know that's probably going to extend to like 4 days. Jordan Sirianni wrote, and this is just a public service announcement for our PlayStation guys out there. The PlayStation Network will be offline for 3.5 hours for scheduled maintenance, beginning 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, February 12th. Somebody announced today. During this time, you'll be unable to access the PlayStation Store PSN account management, PSN account registration, entertainment apps, and online gameplay. However, as always, Greg, if you sign in into your account before maintenance begins, you'll be able to play games and use Netflix and all that kind of stuff. So just, if you're staying home on Thursday or you're home on Thursday, you want to play games or whatever, make sure to log in before that period of maintenance starts. Now, Greg,
yeah,
let's start a new prize pack.
A new prize pack that doesn't involve Percy. Everybody thought, get out of here. Everybody said Percy. Hey, Nick, go to the prize box, which has been moved from this room, and grab a prize for us to give away. Thank you, Nick. What a good man Nick Scarpino is.
He's all right.
Oh, okay. He's got 2 videos going up today. Actually, they're both up. He got the Walking Dead one with me, and he's got the Better Call Saul one with me.
Fantastic.
A lot of reactions happening. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, each and every day here on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, Colin and Greg Live comes to you to bring you the nerdy news of the day. We go from 11 to 12:15. Perfect. And then every day, wait, hold on. I'm coming down so I can come in. Let go. You want to bring it on?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So we add something new to the prize pack, Colin. Mm-hmm. Today we are adding this horrifying thing that you gave to the prize pack.
Yeah, all right, so this mask has a story behind it, actually. This mask comes from Japan, and...
and that's the story!
When the developers from Tecmo Koei came in to show me Tukaiden, or Tukiden, depending on how you want to say it, for Vita, which is a really popular Monster Hunter clone. This mask was given to me by the developer of the game.
Should be noted, it's ceramic.
Yep,
it's
ceramic.
It's not plastic, it's not junk.
It's ceramic.
We're going to have to figure out how to wrap this.
So it's cool. It's small. It's actually kind of heavier than it looks.
Yeah.
It's got heft to it. And I thought that I have nowhere to put this or whatever, but it's a cool little thing. It was at my desk at IGN. And I, especially for PlayStation fans, Tukaiden fans, or whatever, it'd be a cool little kind of Japanese mask for you guys to take. So
cool. That is now added. We will add a new prize to the prize pack each and every day before on Friday we give it away. If you're a sub, you're automatically entered to win. If you're not, you just have to be in the chat. All the names get added together, and then we pull one. They're all yelling, how to say Tokaiden. He's saying Tokiden. Don't have to listen to them. You live your own life.
Well, I just say things the way I want to say them, Greg.
Yeah, you live your own life.
Grog.
All
right, let's go into the comments. Talk to our people for a few minutes.
Okay, first off, I want to talk to this guy right here, Top Kyle Raven. I think you guys need to make more of a conscious effort to cover Microsoft and Xbox. They were kind of left out of this stream. What did we miss? It's the daily news. You went through and found the daily news.
I went to Xbox Wire today. I didn't see anything from them. Yeah, I mean, when there's Xbox news to talk about, I talk about it. This is a good thing because we were talking about this yesterday, Greg. Letterbomb304 says, "What are your thoughts about the unattainable platinum in Dying Light?"
Sucks. God, I'm right there with everybody. If you didn't know, explain the glitches to him.
So Dying Light has apparently 5 glitch trophies, and I'm not sure if it carries over to achievements, but it's definitely the trophies are broken. So if you get all of the safe houses, you probably won't get credit for it. All the side quests probably won't get credit for it. All of the collectibles probably won't get credit for it. This seems to be a Techland issue.
Yes.
Because the same problems were happening in Dead Island.
That was the thing. I had Dead Island Riptide for review early. I played through it. I was going to platinum it before it came out. And that weekend I got down to I just needed the recordings. And I ran around all over the map looking for these fucking recordings. I ran out to GameStop in real life and bought the strategy guide, came home, went through the black marker, checking them all off. And there was just one that was missing. One that was just gone. And I had to report it to PR to report it to the developer. And it was just like, fuck. You know what I mean? Fuck. Are you kidding me? Like all that time, and now the exact same thing's happening with Dying Light.
So yeah, it's unfortunate that that's happening. No patch yet. So I'm basically still playing the game, and I'm just leaving things to collect. Like I haven't gotten all the collectibles, all the safe houses, all the side quests, and then when they patch it, then I'll go get them. So I can get that.
That's what I said about Riptide, and then I never made my way back to it. I left it there. Just left it.
One Fresh Melon says, "How do you survive long flights? I have a 10-hour flight coming out. Long flights suck.
Bring your DS, bring your Vita.
Bring things to do. Yeah, bring your iPad, bring like movies to watch, games to watch, or games to play rather, all those sorts of things. I mean, flights. We've done flights to Japan and Europe many times. So
Japan.
It's tough. It's very tough.
I'm taking a picture. You should all play Freedom Wars. Play Freedom Wars going on your 10-hour flight. Because Freedom Wars is awesome.
Jason NX says, thoughts on Blink 182 breaking up. I'm feeling it.
Lights down low.
God, I hate
We
that.
talked about that the day it happened.
Yeah.
It's sad, but whatever. How old's Blink? Blink's been around forever.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't really like God's gift to music in my mind.
No,
I mean, they were fun.
They were fun. We enjoyed them.
Yeah.
We went to their shows once or twice.
Yeah, the Enema of the State.
Yeah, that's right.
That
That's
record,
right.
that first. Well, it's on the first record. Dude Ranch, I think, was their first record. But Enema of the State was the first one I bought.
That was the big one. That was the one that blew up.
Yeah.
That was the one that tricked us all, as we talk about a lot. The first single, tricking us.
Starchy Pancake says, do you guys think with the closings of these large studios we might be seeing the end of the AAA $100 million plus games? No. I think those games will always exist. Mm-hmm. Just think there's less room for them. And there has to be more attention paid to detail and quality if those games are going to sell.
That's the
and
big
I think
thing.
you see that with Destiny and Grand Theft Auto.
Exactly. You can't just take a blind bet on these games, right? You can't force something to be AAA if it's not AAA. You know what I mean? There's a reason Uncharted's Uncharted, and there's a reason there was a pedigree of games before that, right, that got to that point, where Naughty Dog learned how to become a AAA developer and studio and get those opportunities. And that's what we always talked about with, like, when the middle fell away and you saw THQ go, right? Like, that sucked, but that was just, like, what had to happen because they were financing games that weren't ready to be on that level, right? They weren't ready to be main eventers, if that makes sense.
It does. A few people have asked, Dark Star Nova and a couple other people have asked, any news on Helldivers? No news yet. The game, I was under the assumption when the game kind of disappeared for a while, it was supposed to come out last fall. The game disappeared for a while, and I assumed it might have been in development hell. Arrowhead's working on the game, and they're working on other stuff too. They're probably paying their bills more imminently, I imagine.
Yeah.
But the game was at PSX, so I think the game is still coming out. I just don't know what the story is, and Sony's been quiet about it. I can ask them. Mecha Will says, what do you think about the Bloodborne coverage for IGN first, the gameplay, etc.? I haven't watched all of it. I'm proud that they got it, though. As I talked about last week, I kind of got the ball rolling for that IGN first before that summer and really tried to work as intimately as I could with Sony to get us access to that game, because I know so many of you guys care about that game, but I wasn't able to obviously follow through to the end. But I'm glad that IGN got it. I'm sure Marty's in charge of it. I'm sure the coverage is great, but I haven't looked much at the coverage itself because I don't really want to see any more of the game.
Exactly, right? That's the fun part about being us now, is that, first off, there's only 4 of us. We're making so much stuff. We're nonstop busy. There's always something to do. But we can sit around and be like, well, we know we like Bloodborne. We don't have to worry about it. We can wait for, when that gets here, we'll play it. Same with the Order, right? Like, all right, great. We don't need to do any more previews of the Order. We don't need to see any more of the Order. Just give us the Order.
Let's do 2 more questions, Greg, and then go to our subscriber chat. Nick PRS7 says, just curious, will you guys be streaming Dragon Ball Xenoverse when it releases, or is it not on your radar at all? When I went to Bandai Namco in Japan last time, we saw that game. I loved how the developers were really passionate about the game. It was really funny. They were wearing those visors. Things.
Yeah.
They were really funny, and the game looks cool. I don't really care about Dragon Ball. I don't know anything about it. I don't think any of us do, so I wouldn't want to be disingenuous and cover a game just because I think it's going to do well.
Yeah.
That's not really our style here. We'd rather do like something like Criminal Girls or something like that, because at least
that's our style.
Yeah, that's our style.
Criminal Girls is our style.
Especially Greg's style. So no, I don't think we're going to be doing anything to that game. I don't think we have anything to add to that conversation, so why even bother? There are people that are going to stream that game that can tell you a lot more
exactly,
about
who know the ins and outs of it, you know what I mean?
And the final question comes from Ducata. Colin, will you still freelance editorials for IGN? I love reading your written word. Yeah, I've been. You can find an editorial week at IGN. One just went up today about Dying Light that you guys should check out. The idea of this particular editorial is that Dying Light has benefited greatly from its release window. Just like Ni no Kuni and Reckoning did back in the day.
Right.
That Dying Light did 1.2 million in a week and would have never hit that number lifetime if it came out in October. So it's basically about timing and how serendipitous that can work out. And how it was kind of a genius move to release Dying Light when it was released.
Brilliant. Yeah, it really worked out. That's what we're always talking about. If you can be one of these games that isn't, and this isn't a knock on them, right? But Dying Light I don't think was viewed as like AAA Uncharted level, right? It is somewhere in that weird mid between indie, between AAA. It's in there. Where does it go? If you can find that section of the calendar where you have no competition, people are just coming back, they want to talk about games, there you go. Same thing with The Order to an extent, right? Or Evolve right now. Evolve's launching at a really good time for it. Of like, all right, cool, there's not really much else going on, so sure, I'll jump in on Tuesday and play for a bit and see what happens.
Greg?
Yeah.
Let's go to sub-only chat.
All right.
Talk to our subs for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to skedaddle. We got to go to IGN soon and record Beyond.
Our final Beyond.
And then I'm excited to go to the bar tonight and just kind of have a
Here's
a
my
meal.
thing, is that the problem is, I'm excited for the food there and the booze, obviously. The booze will be helpful. I love eating the food there, though. The problem is that I'm sick. I can't taste my food. Last night I was like, I'm gonna have a little bit of ice cream.
You don't sound that sick.
I'm congested. I can tell you right. I'm like, I'm gonna go have some ice cream, and I was like, and I'll have a cookie too. I put a cookie in with the ice cream. I was eating Team Fat like for life. You know what I mean? And I did it, and then I was like, I can't even taste this. This sucks. I was eating this food that I know is delicious, but it's not doing what I want it to do.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well,
okay.
we'll take not a shot, but we'll get like maybe like 18-year McKenna or something when we get there, neat, and then that'll
Well,
clear right
what
up.
we're doing for sure is the spicy fried chicken.
Oh,
Get
that'll
that
clear
Nashville
up.
fried chicken. Boom.
That'll clear right up.
There you
Now,
go.
is that the one that comes with the pickles or the biscuits? Because I like the pickles.
I think that's biscuits. I forget. We'll figure it out.
I think let's start with a nice 18-year McKenna, neat. We usually start with the old fashions. I say we really go balls deep tonight.
We're celebrating.
And
Kind of. Morning.
morning, I would say more than celebrating.
Okay.
Right? It's a celebration, I guess. It's a celebration of death.
We're excited to have this as our new life. So
Yeah,
it's that weird bittersweet thing of like, yeah, it sucks to leave Podcast Beyond behind, but we get to do this every day, and we get to make amazing YouTube videos every day with our best friends, and nobody can tell us no. If I want to get up in the middle of the show and go get a Percy, if I want to F5 Portillo through the table.
Now, here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the bar, one of our favorite bars in the city. We're gonna
Yeah.
it's called Hard Water. In case you guys are ever in San Francisco, it's on the
Sure.
Embarcadero. We're gonna order our drinks.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna order the Brussels sprouts with bacon.
Sure.
The mac and cheese with sausage. I like that cold cauliflower salad. How do you feel about that cold
I like
cauliflower
it.
salad?
It's
The
pickled.
almonds?
It's pickled.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
nice.
it's really
Very
good.
nice. Vinegary. We'll get the chicken.
Yeah.
And we'll get the deep fried pork fat.
Okay.
The bacon.
Sure. The crackling.
The crackling.
Pork belly crackling.
Pork belly crackling.
Nate Sticker says, you guys have any news about your Patreon goal fulfillments? Still targeting next week now for the if you can't hear it, the guy's doing it again. Next week for the Walking Dead marathon for me, seasons 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead, all in one sitting on Twitch. I want to get you eating that Oreo soon too. We got to get that up.
Okay.
And then we need to get going. I need to get them on the calendar today, actually. The Q&As we need to do, and then the exclusive episodes, because I'd like to get out in front of that this month and be able to tell you ahead of time when to look for a little bit more notice. So there you go.
Big Tony Style says, so can we expect you will be hungover for C&G Live tomorrow? A, we drink so much bourbon, I don't even think we get hungover anymore. B,
Famous last words.
yeah. B, I can't remember the last time I was really hungover. Like really out years.
Yeah.
Which is sad. That's actually scary. But no, Greg and I are so old. We're going to the bar at 5.
Yeah.
We'll be home by like 8. And we'll probably be asleep by like 9, so I'm not really worried about it.
We are old men.
Greg, let's see. Thoughts? Someone asked me this. I'd be loath not to talk about this. Ninja Mishi says, thoughts on of Miracles in Men. Of Miracles in Men is the new 30 for 30 that aired yesterday about the Soviet perspective of the 1980 hockey game against the American team.
You started it in the living room.
I watched it last night.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Most of it is in Russian, which is so cool. Like, you have to read almost the entire time because it's all the Russian guy's perspective.
Yeah.
Really, really
Is
awesome.
it sad? It sounds like
It is kind of sad. I kind of felt bad for them.
Yeah.
You know, like in a way, like there are a few assholes on the team or guys that are full of a little bit of bravado still to this day, but like they really had no idea what was about to happen to them, especially because they played that scrimmage against the American team at Madison Square Garden the week before the Olympics, beat them 12-3. So they were not worried.
Yeah.
And then this team just beats them 4-3, and really, really awesome. 30 for 30 is just immaculate.
Yeah.
Here's how I know 30 for 30 is good. Nick Scarpino doesn't care about sports, and Nick Scarpino has watched every 30 for 30. You know what? Did you watch the one yesterday? Oh, we got to talk about that.
Listen out.
Let's do 3 more questions, Greg.
Three more questions. I'm sorry.
Do you see one that you'd like to?
Somebody. Here we go. Here we go. Great. We did the book club. We had the video game book club here on Kind of Funny, where we all play a game for a month. We did Super Metroid. We did this discussion. It's now up on YouTube. There we announced this, I think, actually on one of the streams too. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is the next one. Poncho Brady says, I just picked up Castlevania Symphony of the Night on Vita for the book club. Any tips for a first-time Castlevania player? Colin, this seems right up your alley. You're hosting this book club.
Yep. Well, so Symphony of the Night is not like other Castlevania games. It's the first Castlevania game of its kind, and there are derivatives of it specifically on DS and 3DS. Or actually GBA and DS, not 3DS. So GBA and DS. So like Circle of the Moon and Aria of Sorrow and all that kind of stuff. So play the game like a role-playing game. It's action oriented, but you need to level up your character. You need to find new equipment, and you need to do all that kind of stuff. So don't rush around. The castle's huge. The idea is to play the game the way you want to play it. It's non-linear. But don't rush forward and expect that you're going to be able to beat all these enemies. You level up and you get stronger the more enemies you fight. So I would play it like a role-playing game.
That's very fascinating.
That said, Symphony of the Night is one of the great games of all time, and I can't wait. I haven't played it in several years. I know I'm going to go back in and love it again. I've beaten that game so many times. That game is fucking extraordinary, and I can't wait for people to play that. I haven't played it before, and the reason I wanted to do that, you asked me like what game would I want to do?
Yeah. And
you did Super Metroid.
Yeah.
And it seemed redundant in a way to do Castlevania, but I wanted to do it specifically because we're going to be able to track the genetic code from Super Metroid to Castlevania. So a lot of people that are going to play both games with us will be able to see how Super Metroid directly influenced Symphony of the Night.
Right.
In many ways. That said, Symphony of the Night is a much better game than Super Metroid.
Okay.
And I feel you should play it. You've played it when you were a kid, right? Mm-hmm. So
no, I played it on PSP. That was my first time.
Okay, so you'll know.
Yeah, I'll jump back in. I didn't. What can we get it on? Is the question. I didn't have the answer for it. I know PS3 obviously because it's a Vita game.
You get it on PS3 and Vita. Yeah, so it's PS1 Classic. If you have Dracula X Chronicles on PSP, you can unlock it in there. Mm-hmm. But that's not necessarily you can just buy it on PSP. So gotcha. I think it's available on Xbox 360. And it has achievements on Xbox 360. Ooh. It's available on, obviously, PS1. It's available on Vita, PS3, and PSP. I think that's it.
Okay. A question here. This is T. Starkey. I'm in the book club tier, which this doesn't matter. First question. How much time should you put aside for Castlevania Symphony? How long is that game going to take you?
So there's two endings. And one ending, the ending that you're not supposed to get. So when you beat Castlevania Symphony, do you remember it? Did you go to the inverted castle?
No. Yeah, I've been to the inverted castle, yeah.
So there's a fake ending to the game. You basically have to, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a fake ending to the game that makes sure you never see half of it. And I think that's really cool. Like it never tells you that you beat the wrong part of the game or whatever, it just ends. So if you beat it like that, which you shouldn't, it should take 6-7 hours probably. Okay. If you beat the game the way it should be played and you're thorough and you get the over 200% rating on it, then it's going to take you at least 15 hours, I would say.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do one more question.
All right. One more question here on our subscriber-only chat. Remember, every day, we turn it over for 10 minutes, something like that. Talk to you, our subscribers. We thank you so much. If you're not a subscriber, you can, of course, keep watching. You just can't chat for right
now. Let's see. I want to make sure I get a good question here. Oh, okay, this one got Rufus Sturm. It says, dudes, Red Dead Redemption announcement or release this year. GTA 4 to Red Dead was about 2 years apart.
Gotta help a Red Dead get announced this year.
I think it's definitely announced this year. The game is clearly in development, right? I mean, there just seems to be a lot of anecdotal evidence and rumors that they're working on the game, and I would be surprised if they weren't. Red Dead Redemption sold very well. So I think an announcement this year. I don't think it's released this year.
Okay.
I think that Rockstar has so many studios and so many resources going into their games. I think they're kind of still focused on heists and all this kind of stuff, and I think they'll all move like a big unit over to finish Red Dead. That said, I'm sure there's a huge team working on Red Dead 2.
Sure.
Or I guess it would be Red Dead 3 technically, since Red Dead Revolver is the first Red Dead.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Cool.
Gregory?
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Here in our house. For all of you out there, thank you for joining us today. We had nearly 7,000 with you.
Yeah, crazy.
At one point, which we really
Thanks
appreciate.
to Twitch for giving us a shout out on Twitter. That seems to have driven a lot of traffic today.
But
I'll flex every day.
Please don't. Please don't flex every day. Well, actually, do what you want, Greg. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for joining us today here on Colin and Greg Live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. Remember, we're here every weekday at 11 a.m. Pacific time to talk about all things games, movies, comic books, whatever the nerdy news is of that day, Greg.
Yeah.
We'll be here for that. You can follow us collectively, Kind of Funny, on Twitter at Kind of Funny Vids. You can follow me at No Taxation Greg at Game Over Greggy. Remember, we're on Instagram and Facebook as well. We have a great fan-run Facebook group as well. You can guys go seek out. About 1,300 people are in that now. Really positive group of people over there. Remember, everything we do is archived in the Twitch archive here for 60 days after it streams, including our kind of game streams. I don't think we're going to stream anything today.
No, we have time today.
But tomorrow, I'd like to stream Stardust, or we can stream Evolve. I think it might be more behoove us more to do Evolve, actually. We'll figure that out later today.
I don't know. Stardust might.
Stardust is going to be awesome, so we'll have to
Thanks for your stubby woot.
So that's it for us for now. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow. Greg, hit me with some Geraldo.
You have to understand that I'm Geraldo. I'm not anyone to trifle with.